Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to handle the part 2 of the switching and routing and wireless essential practice PT skills assessment, PTSA part 2. So as you can see, the part 1 of the project we got 95%. So basically we're going to handle the part 2 of the project. So I'll click on it, and we're going to take assessment. We have the latest version of Packet Tracer, and open executable. Okay, so we can begin the task. I'll open the Packet Tracer and the instruction. So what I'll do, I'll just click on dock here so that it can be on left, and the topology be on right so that we can read and do the configurations. Okay, so basically guys, what I'll do, I'll just read through the instruction, then I'll begin on the configuration part. Okay guys, so I've read the instruction, and basically we'll begin on the configuration. Configure switch security. So in this part of the assessment, we'll configure switch 1 with the switch security features. Switch ports first Ethernet 01 to first Ethernet 05 are the active switch ports, and port gigabit Ethernet 01 is a dedicated link to router HQ. All the ports should be secured. Okay, so what we'll do, step 1 is to configure VLANs. On which switch? Switch 1, and the name of the VLAN should be users, and the ID should be VLAN 10, and we need to configure another VLAN that is called unused with the VLAN ID of 999. Okay, so let's begin. Where is switch 1? This is a switch 1, so I'll click on the switch 1 and begin the configuration. Okay, so what to do, so we move from user exec mode to privilege exec mode, then to global configuration mode, then we create our VLANs. How do we create VLAN? Just say VLAN 10, then we give the name is should be users, I mean. Another VLAN is VLAN 999 123, the name should be unused. Okay, exit. Alright, so let's proceed to step 2, configure active switch ports. On the switch port configured, configure first Ethernet 01 to 05, and this one a static access port in VLAN 10. Okay, so I'll just do that. Okay, so interface range first Ethernet 0/1 to 5. Then we have been told there's also a gigabit Ethernet port here, this one, which is gig 0/1. Hit enter. Switch port mode, we need to configure them as to access VLAN 10. Switch port mode, access, then switch port access VLAN 10. Okay, sorry. Okay, yeah, so exit. Alright, then active ports security on the ports. Configure the ports to accept a maximum of 4 MAC addresses. Okay, if a violation occurs, configure the port to drop from the unauthorized MAC address, log it, and send an alert. So which port security violation mode are we gonna configure there? Okay, so another point is MAC address should be present in the MAC address for maximum of 10 minutes. Okay, ports should add the land MAC address to the running configuration. Good. Then configure MAC address of host A as a static address on port first Ethernet 01. Okay, so guys, what we're gonna do, the first thing we're going to configure switch port security. What are we gonna do? So I'll just retrieve the above configuration, which is this range here. Then we are going to configure port security on these interfaces, ports okay. Then you hit enter, then you say switch port security between maximum switch port security, then switch port security maximum of how many addresses for MAC address, hit enter, then switch port. Then another one is MAC address should be present in the MAC address. If violation occurs, configure the port to drop frames from the unauthorized MAC access. Which violation mode is that? Is the restrict. So I'll just say switch port security violation mode, violation restrict, okay. Hit enter, and then part 3 is MAC address should be present in the MAC address for maximum of 10 minutes, okay. So what we're going to do is the aging time. So just say switch port security aging time of 10 minutes, okay. So I'll hit enter, okay. Then finally on part 4, port should be able to learn the address to the ports should add the learned MAC address to the running configuration. What are we gonna do there? Check it out, man. So we just say switch port security MAC address sticky, okay, so that they can learn the MAC address automatically. Hit enter, and then finally configure MAC address of host A as a static MAC address on first Ethernet 01, okay. So that's first of all we are going to exit this bunch of interfaces. Then we are going to configure first Ethernet 0 to accept this MAC address, okay. So we are going to enter the interface first Ethernet 0/1, then switch port security MAC address. So the MAC address should be of host 1. Let's check the IP address of this host A so that we can check its MAC address .10.1.10. Then we go to the other PC2, then we say ping 192.168.1.10. yeah, okay. So let's check the ARP entry, ARP space -A. So this is the MAC address of host 1 as obtained from host 2. You just ping host 1, then you type this command ARP space -A, okay. So we go back here and say switch port security MAC address, and we paste there. Hit enter. Alright, no problem. Then we exit. Alright, so let's proceed to protect from against DHCP snooping. In the packet simulated network, DHCP snooping may not operate correctly in the packet. In the packet simulated network, DHCP snooping may not operate correctly in the packet tracer. Configure it as you would normally. You will receive a full credit for a configuration that meets the requirement below. Active DHCP snooping global, active DHCP for the 2 VLANs that you configured. Configure the ports to limit the rate to 5 DHCP packets per second. Then configure the port that links to the router as trusted. Okay, so guys we need to configure DHCP snooping on this switch here. So I'll click on the switch and start with part 1 of C, okay, C.1. Alright, active DHCP snooping globally. How do that? So we just say IP DHCP snooping, then we hit enter, then IP, that's for C.1, then we go to C.2, which says activate DHCP snooping for the two VLANs that you configured. Okay, IP DHCP snooping VLAN 10, then VLAN 1, 2, 3, 999. Okay, the two VLANs that we created. Then configure the ports to limit the rate to 5 DHCP packets per second. Okay, so guys, I just negated a command here. This one, as you can see, the first command that we did was wrong. IP DHCP snooping VLAN 10 to 199, which is wrong. So I negated it using this command. Then I typed the right command, which is IP DHCP snooping VLAN 10, that one. So guys, let's move to part 3. Configure DHCP limits ports to limit the rate to 5 DHCP packets per second. How do we do it? Just say IP DHCP snooping, just say limit rate to 5. Sorry, we should first enter the interfaces first. We should enter the interfaces first, which were these interfaces. So I'll copy these interfaces, copy, and then I paste here, hit enter. Then now we copy this command here, then we paste there, as you can see, and hit enter. Now we don't get the error. Then finally configure the port that link the router to as trusted. Okay, exit that one first. So the port that link the router is this one, which is gig 01. So interface gig 0/1 IP DHCP snooping trust, hit enter, and we exit. Okay, I'll do right to save the configuration. Okay, so let's proceed to D. We need to guard against the ARP attacks by implementing the dynamic ARP inspection. So how are we going to implement dynamic ARP inspection? The first thing, we are going to activate it globally. Then we activate die on the two VLANs, and finally we configure ports that link router to the router as trusted, the same way we just done. Okay, all right, so let's start. I'll place it up here. So we just say IP ARP inspection. We need to inspect how many VLANs? The two VLANs, VLAN 10 and 1, 2, 3, 999. Sorry, we should this one. There should be no comma there. Okay, there should be no. There should be no space here. There should be no space here. So IP ARP inspection VLAN 10 and this one, and then they need us to activate on the two VLANs, so they are active. So what do we need? Configure the port that links to the router as trusted. Which port is that? It's the interface gig 0/1. So just say IP ARP inspection as trust. Okay, exit and do right. All right, so let's proceed to this one. Mitigate spanning tree protocol attacks by configuring bridge protocol data unit, guard, and port first on the active ports. So we've been told that the only active ports here are fast Ethernet, this range. Let me show you this range here. So we need to mitigate spanning tree protocol attack here. So I'll just copy that, right? And what I'll do, I'll just paste here and hit enter. So as you can see, the active ports are how many? this range. Oh, but this one is not, this is connecting the router, so I'll just exclude it. I'll exclude that, and I'll just say spanning tree protocol port first. Then port first has been enabled on those port, so I'll just say again spanning tree protocol bridge protocol data unit PDU guard enable, and you hit enter, then you exit. So we've mitigated STP attacks on those interfaces. So let's proceed to step 3, which is to secure unused switch ports. Okay, move all unused switch ports on VLAN 99, then configure all unused ports as static access ports. Deactivate all unused ports. Okay, so we just need to check how many ports are here and how many are used and how many are not used. As you can see, guys, we have 24 fast Ethernet ports and 2 gigabit Ethernet ports. So we used from first Ethernet 1 to 5. Now from 6 to 24 are unused, and the gigabit Ethernet 2 is also unused. So what I'll do, I'll just click on the switch and say interface range is first Ethernet 0/6 to 24 are unused. Okay, then also gigabit Ethernet 0/2. Okay, then we just say switch port mode access. Okay, then switch port access VLAN 999. Okay, and you hit enter. Then we say deactivate shutdown, exit, and do right. Okay, so let's move to part 2 of the test. Configure addressing and DCP. You will configure DCP and interface address on router, this one branch, to prepare for implementation the wireless LAN controller. Configure and address sub interface for the VLAN user interface. Configure sub interface 10 on the router interface that is connected to switch 4. Then the router should provide a route on a stick routing to VLAN 10. Configure sub interface with the address from following table. Okay, so which router is this one that we're going to configure? Is router this branch. Okay, so let me search for that router. It's this one. It's this router here, and we're told to configure sub interface on the router that is connected to switch 4. So this router. I'll click on this router and say enable configure terminal, and then we need to configure sub interface 10. So interface, let's first check which interface is this one. It's gig. Just a minute, I can't see the interface properly. And this one is gig 001. So this one is just a minute, let me just zoom out so that I can see the interface clearly. It's a gig 000, okay, because this one is gig 001, so this one is gig 000. Interface gig 0/0/0.10, a sub interface. Okay, encapsulation.1q, then we just encapsulation .1q the VLAN ID, which is 10, hit enter, and we give it an IP address as in the addressing table. We just go up here, the router of a branch, this one 10.1, just say IP address 192.168.10.1, subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, and then we exit. So let's go to the next question, which is part 2. Configure DHCP pool for VLAN user network. Okay, exclude the IP address from the router interface IP address and the management address of WC. So what we'll do first is to exclude IP address. So what do we do? Just say IP DHCP excluded address should be address of the router interface and management address. So I'll just go up and check the addresses. Branch router, the router interface, for a sub interface. So and the management, okay, so it's 100. This one is the management IP address, and the IP address of the interface, which was .10 sub interface. So it's 10.1 and 10. And 100. Just a minute, let me just check on it. Just a minute. Let me just read the question again. There's a lot of work, so we're not even halfway, so we just need to hurry up before we are cut with time. Configure the sub interface, we've done that. So exclude the router interface address and the management address of the WC. So we need to check management address of WC. So management address of WC, as you can see, I can move it's 100.254, but now the IP address of the interface, let me just check it again here up. Okay, so basically we are going to use this IP address, this one, and for the management WCM management address, which was 100.254. okay, all right. So just a minute, let me just click on this one. I just say 192.168.10.1 subnet mask of, that's all. Then another one should be 100.254 for management of WC, this one. As you can see, management address is 100.254. So and if you check it here again, you can see it's here. Okay, all right. So I'll just hit enter. And guys, I configured the sub interface without giving a description. So I'll just give a description again. I'll just copy and give it to description. I'll paste it there and say description VLAN users exit. So we are done there. So let's proceed down. Okay, so configure a DHCP pool that will be used by host connecting to VLAN. Name the pool WLAN host. So I'll copy this one, copy. So I'll just say IP DHCP pool. I'll paste that one. Then I say network of, as you can see here is
10.168.10.0.255.255.255.0. Hit enter, and then the pool should also provide default gateway and DNS addresses. So I'll just go back up and check the default gateway and DNS as given here. Okay, meaning I can't see they're given here, so we'll just have to use ours, which will be the IP address of the interface. So default router should be 192.168.10.1. hit enter. Then DNS server also 192.168.10.1. exit. Okay, so let's proceed down. Okay, configure an interface as configuring step 3, I mean. So configure an interface as DHCP client. On the router branch, configure an interface that is connected to cloud router to receive its address over DHCP. So the cloud, so we're going to configure this interface here, which is gig 001 as a DHCP client interface. Gig 001 IP DHCP address. Just query, just a minute, let's query IP. So it should be IP address DHCP. Yes, how to configure an interface to be a DHCP client. So exit, we've done that one. As you can see, this one assigned this one IP address, as you can see. So it's successful. So just say do right to save the configuration. Okay, so let's move down. Configure static route. In this part, let me just read it, then I'll get back to you. We are required to configure static, default, and floating default, static, and the host route in both IPv6 and IPv4. You will configure router HQ and router branch as so that it wants to use between all the network. In addition, the company wants to use the Ethernet link between router for most data transfer and resource between this one for backup in case one of the internet. Okay, so step 1, configure IPv4 default routes to cloud using Ethernet links as the preferred link as the preferred link and the serial link as the floating backup. Use administrative distance of 10 for the backup route. This route should be configured as a directly connected router A. Okay, so we are required to configure in a HQ router, which is this one. We are required to configure a default route to the cloud as our preferred link, and in case this link goes down, this one should be used as a backup link, which is now floating static route. Okay, so this is very easy. So default route, how do we configure default route? It's very easy. Enable config you just say IP route 0, any IP address with any subnet mask. Let me check. Okay, with any IP address should use this link to go to the cloud. Okay, so whenever this router receives any IP address that is not in the routing table, it should forward it through this link, and in case this link falls or is down, it can use the alternative path. Okay, so which path is which interface? This one is gig 002. Okay, so it should use gig 002 and hit enter. As you can see, that's correct. Okay, now we've been told to configure static floating static route, which will use the same thing, but now we're going to use the other backup
path, which is this one, and give it administrative distance of 10. So this one is serial just 0010. So there should be serial 010 with the administrative distance of 10 space 10. Okay, and you hit enter. Do right. Okay, alright, so let's note Ethernet will give a warning when configure without and in this configuration, until it's a point where doing can be ignored. Remember, we received this warning here, this one, so we can ignore this warning as stated here. Okay, so let's proceed to be configure IPv4 static route on branch LAN VLAN. Branch LAN, we're using the following. Configure IPv4 static to the branch LAN VLAN user network following the same guideline as above type of. Okay, so we need to remember the first time we configure default route and a static and a floating static route. So we need to configure a static route itself plus a floating static route. Okay, to which network? This one, to the branch which is 10.0. okay, so just go to the SQ route again, and we say IP route 192.168.10.1. remember the branch network is 10.1. okay, and branch VLAN network as we just configured with the subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. it should go through which interface? This one, the first one, which is gig 002, and in case that interface is down, it will follow this interface. Okay, so it's a gig 0/0/2, and in case bad mask, meaning I wrote IP address, I should have wrote a network. Okay, so that's fine. So another one should follow serial 0/1/0 with the administrative distance of 10. This one, yes. So we just hit enter and do right. So let's finish on this one. Configure IPv4 host route on HQ, this one, to office server on office LAN, and create a directly connected route. Okay, that's very simple. To configure host route to which office server, this one. So the IP address of the office server is let me just check, 3.122. okay, following which interface on a route? This one, serial 0111. So we are required to configure host route to this network here. So what are we gonna do? We just IP route. How to configure host routes are different, a little bit different, but I'll show you. Just write IP address of the destination. The IP address of destination is 192.168.3.122. as you can see here. Office server is 3.122. okay, and the subnet mask of /24. okay, so just configure it here, 255.255.255.255. now this is now the difference. To configure host route, you use this subnet mask with all the bits turned on. okay, this broadcast mark subnet mask. okay, alright, so just through which interface? Serial 0/1/1, this one. It should follow the route should follow this path. okay, alright, and you hit enter. Alright, do right. So let's proceed. For the purpose of assessment, please enter the IPv4 static route in the following order: IPv4 default route, IPv4 also static to branch LAN. Okay, for the purpose of this assessment, but we have already done them. We've already done them, so we just ignore this part. So we have been told to ensure that the device is configured to route IPv6. So we just go to this router and just say IPv6. Let's enable IPv6 on these interfaces, IPv6 unicast routing, and hit enter. So the first one is done. Ensure that device is configured to route. That means done. Now configure IPv6 default route to the cloud using the same link as the primary and the serial as the backup. Okay, it's very simple. Use administrative distance, this one, backup. This route should be specified the next op interface address. You know, now it's different from the above that says we use the outbound interface. Okay, that this one says that we should use the next op interface address. Okay, so this is pretty much simple. How do we configure a default static route in IPv6? Very simple. We just say IPv6 route 2:/0. Then it should go to IPv6 of this interface, which is gig 00 on router, cloud router. So just check it. The cloud router is locked. I'll just go up and check the IPv6 of gig 00 in cloud router. So it's this one. I'll copy that one and and I click on the router here, then I paste and I delete that one. Just a minute, let me check the interface. It's gig 00. So the IPv6 of gig 00 is this is a HQ router, so I should go to cloud router, which is here. Sorry, I've confused. So I should copy this one and I come here. Just delete all this and paste that one. So this is a default static route, IPv6 route. So I just hit enter. Another one, it should go through the next op address, which is this one. It should follow this interface, serial 001. So to this interface, which is we take the IP address of this IPv6 address of this one, which is serial 0. Just a minute, I'm just missing it. 010 in branch router 010. Just a minute, serial 010, which this one. So we take this IPv6 address, copy it, we come to HQ router and we paste it. Just a minute, we paste the one that we copied. Just a minute, I'm just missing on something here. I should copy this one, copy, then yes, now I paste it there. As you can see, IPv6 route, this default route, then it should go through the next op IP address, IPv6 address, and it should have administrative distance as a backup. No, that one we negated, and then we had 10 as the administrative distance. Exit, not exit. I said do right. Okay, so let's go down and see what's next. Okay, so configure IPv6 host route on HQ router to the post office. It should be a next hop route. Okay, for the purpose of assessment, please enter IPv6, this one in this order. Okay, so we need to configure our host routes here. So we just say IPv6 route to which destination. The destination is office server, which has office server has IPv6 address of, let me just check on the address table. Office server, it has this one as the IPv6. Copy IPv6, we copy that, we paste that one. All right, 2, then subnet mask should be 128, as you can remember. For the host routes, we use the full subnet mask. As you remember, the length of IPv6 is 128 bits, so we used all the bits for the host routes, and we've been told to use the next hop IP address, which is for router, office router. So this interface is serial 0011, office router 00011. So we use this IP address as the next hop IP address. Then we paste that one there and hit enter and do that. Okay, so we're done with the IPv6. Let's proceed to the next problem, which is just a minute, configure. Okay, so let's proceed to step 2, configure static route on this one. Branch router, I must not configure it with static to the 3 networks in the XYZ scope. It will require floating, static, and default route. This one the same guideline. IPv6 argument, IPv4 argument, all routes should be preferred either interval or serial. Backup, good. So guys, it's the same configuration that we've just done on the SQ router. So step A, configure IPv4 default route on the cloud using Ethernet as the preferred link and the serial as a backup link. Okay, so we need to configure branch router default, enable config t IP route default route 0.0.0.0 with any subnet mask. Should use which interface, but for the purpose of this one, please enter IP with the following. We need to configure default, then we configure the backup. Okay, so we need to use this interface, the preferred link, and this one is the backup. So just check on this interface, which is gig 001. It should go through gig 001. Okay, and now the backup should go through this other one, which is serial 0. Its goal should be serial 0/1/0 with the administrative distance of 10. Okay, hit enter. Alright, ensure the device is configured to route IPv6. Okay, how do we do that? We just say IPv6 unicast routing and hit enter. Configure IPv6 route to the cloud. Use the Ethernet links as the primary and serial as the backup. Use administrative distance of 10 as the backup. This route should be specified the next host interface address. Okay, so that's very easy. So just say IPv6 route it's a default route, which is 0. Then it should go through which interface?
the IPv6 interface of this IPv6 address of this interface, which is a gig 001 of cloud router. Gig 001 of cloud router has a IP address of IPv6 address of gig 001 of a cloud router. This is the IPv6 address. So I'll just copy. Let me just check again. Yes, cloud router. So I'll just say, just paste there and hit enter. Another one. So we delete this one. It should prefer the serial link, so it should be IPv6 address of this interface, which is serial 001 of HQ. Serial 001 serial, let me check it again. Serial okay, it's serial this one, serial 010. Let me check it again. Yes, serial 010. Okay, yes, and then I paste there with an administrative distance of 10. Okay, all right, so let's just go down again. Okay, so we are done that. Just do right. So we are going to part 4 of the equation that we need to configure wireless LAN using WC, which is wireless LAN controller. In this part assessment, you will require configure the wireless LAN controller, provide access to the network. Username and password are default. Admin and admin to connect to WC over HTTP, the management interface. Okay, so create a new interface, configure VLAN interface, create a new interface and name it VLAN 10. The interface I mean should use VLAN 10 and physical port 1. Okay, so we are going to configure WC, this one, 192.168.100.254. yes, server reset connection. .254, and that's the IP address of this. Let me just try to put HTTPS there, and then good. So what you need to do is just to include HTTPS here. You need to include S here, then you type the IP address of the server correctly, and as you can see, the IP address of the server was 100.254. that's where we went wrong. We used 24, which was wrong, so just need to log in. Password is admin and username also, and just so let's just wait for the interface. Let's just wait. Okay, as you can see now, this is the interface of the WLC, wireless LAN controller. So we'll just begin configuration as instructed. So step 1, create a new interface and name it WLAN 10. The interface should use VLAN 10 and physical port 1. So let's just go there. How do we create interfaces? Very simple. How to create interfaces? So let me just check on them. Just check here. Okay, so just so you click on the controller. I got it. You click on the controller, then you come to the interfaces and just give it time. You know it's loading, just have to give it some time. Okay, now you create another interface. Just come to new interface and you just give it time. What's the name of the interface? I'll just VLAN 10, VLAN 10, copy VLAN 10, VLAN 10. It should use the VLAN ID 10. Okay, and you apply. So let's just give it some time. Okay, and this I mean, this interface should use a physical port 1. So you come here and click here 1. Okay, physical port 1, and another information. Use the information in the address table to configure addressing for the interface. The interface should be using the DHCP pool that is configured on the subinterface that is assigned to VLAN 10. So I'll just go back here, and VLAN 10, what is needed there? WC. Okay, so VLAN 10 should have this IP address. VLAN 10 should have this IP address, which is this one. So I'll just copy, and I come here and I paste. Sorry, I delete everything and paste it, and just a minute. And the subnet mask should be 255.255.255.255.0, and the gateway should be this one .1. Copy that one, delete, then you paste .1. Okay, all right. So what else? Let me just scroll down and check what's remaining on the wireless configuration. Here, the interface should be using a DHCP pool that is configured on something that is sent to good. I think we are done on that, and we just check what's remaining here. Primary DHCP server. The primary DHCP server should be just a minute. The primary server should be the IP address of this one. I mean, just that one. It should be that one. Just hit enter, and now that's done. Configure a radius server, which is very simple. You need to configure a radius server. Radius is a remote access dialing user service. Those are security protocols that we need to configure for the remote access. So we need to configure remote server, I mean radius server. So let's just save this one. You apply, just apply, make sure you apply. Changing the interface changes configuring and this to be temporarily disabled, and that may result in loss of connectivity for some client. Changing the interface parameter causes the VLAN to temporarily disabled, and this may result. Okay, it's okay. All right, they are saved. So let's check if they are here. We can see they are here. So we need to configure security. We come to security tab and let it load. Just let it load. It will load. Okay. Now you come to radius. Click on the radius. Sorry, under radius, check on authentication. Just there. Just have to give it some time. Then you create new. Let me just go to the instruction. It will come. Okay, so let's just go to the instruction. Configure WC with the radius server IP address. Use secret, shared secret of RAD secret. So I'll just copy this password here. I'll copy this password here as the secret for the radius server. So server IP address. How do we get the server IP address? Let me check on the address table if you can find it. Server IP address. Okay, here it is. Here, can you see this one? Radius server.
Okay, so I'll just click here and type the server IP address, which is 172.16.1.100. okay, and shared secret, I just copied that one and I copied it again. So let me check what's remaining here. Let's check what's remaining here. Okay, so I think we have done on the security part. We just have to apply to save the changes. We save changes, let it apply. We're just waiting for it to load. Okay, as you can see, it has applied. Let me just apply again over and over, so that all the changes can be saved. I think now it's fine. Okay, it's now okay. Let me check now. Okay, as you can see, we have one here, which is okay. Alright, so guys, basically what we're going to do, just a minute, let me minimize it so that we can proceed to the next. Is configure wireless LAN. We need to create a new LAN, name it VLAN 10 with the SSD of this one, VLAN 10. So I come here, and how do you create a VLAN? How do you create VLAN? I just forgot. We should come to VLAN, not wireless. Just a minute, I forgot, sorry. We come to VLAN, not wireless. VLAN, just a minute, let it load. Okay, then we create new. Minimize this one. You've been asked to create a new VLAN. Which name? With the profile name of VLAN 10 with the password of that one, this one. Okay, then you apply the additional information. The wireless should use the VLAN interface that is previously configured. It should use VLAN 10. Okay, and then configure VLAN to use WPA security policy and that one authentication management. Alright, so and we did that. Now apply. Okay, let's see what's next. Just give it some time. We just have to give it some time. Okay, so guys, we've been told to, just a minute, we've been told to configure VLAN to use WPA security policy and .1x authentication key. So just come to security here. You should use the first one. Okay, so we need to use which one? WPA2 policy. Good. And which authentication? Just a minute. This one. Authentication key of that. Authentication key management of that one is the instruction here. Configure VLAN to use radius server that was previously configured to authenticate wireless users. So I'm gonna do that. Very simple. Just go up. W, we come to here. Servers, let me check this one. This was a server that we configured. That's okay. Wow, it's good, man. Then open advanced tab, this one. Open advanced tab and scroll down to the Flex Connect. Activate Flex Connect local switching and Flex Connect local auth. So we go to here. Just a minute, we go to advanced. We scroll down to Flex Connect. I'll maximize it. Where is Flex Connect? Scroll down to Flex Connect. So we need to enable Flex Connect, and then we enable the two, and then verify that VLAN is connected properly and operational. Sorry, just click on the PC. So we apply. Just wait until it's Done. Okay, so the changes have been applied successfully. Now we need to configure what? Step 4 here. Configure new DHCP scope to be used for LAPs and other management on the network. Name DHCP scope wired admin. Start the scope address of this one and then scope address of this one. Okay, other information that is required can be found in the address table. Okay, so we need to configure a new DHCP scope. So let's try to create the DHCP scope that is being set there. So I'll try to save it again. How do we create a DHCP scope? Very simple. We just come under controller. We come under controller here. You just have to give it some time to load. Okay, then you come to internal DHCP. You click on internal DHCP. Create DHCP scope. Just a minute. Okay, now you create new. Click on new. You just have to give it some time to load, and we've been told to create it as which name? Wired admin. Wired admin. Okay, and you apply, and then start the scope from this one too. So let me copy that one to 249. Okay, so it's wired scope. I just click on the wired scope to edit it. Let me just expand it. Okay, pool starts address, it should be that one, and the end address should be that one, 49, as you can see here. Other additional information can be required is found on the addressing table. Wired network scope. Just a minute. So here we need to configure network address and subnet mask. Network address, I think it's 100.0, and a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. Let me verify here. Yes, yeah, so that's it. So default routers, the default router should be, just a minute, the default router should be I think I'll just take this one, just a minute, and DNS server. Okay, and DNS server should be this one, DNS server. Okay, alright, so what's remaining? Need to apply it to save, and then let's go down to check what's remaining. So it's only part 5 and part 6 that is remaining. This was a lot of work. Configure SNMP server to receive traps from the WLC use the community name branch wireless. So copy that one, use this one as server address. How to configure as an MP server. Come to management. Remember, SNMP protocol is used for network management. Come here. To receive trap receivers, we come here. Just have to give it something, then I expand this one, create new, just give it time, it will load. Okay, the community name should be that one, and IP address should be this one. Copy, come and paste that on there, then I save to apply. So lastly, configure wireless host. Configure wireless to connect the VLAN. Create a new VLAN profile on the host. Use the name WorkNet for the profile. Configure SSD of the VLAN. Use the enterprise authentication username of that one and password of this one. When you finish, click connect to the network. It will take time to connect to be established. Okay, so we need to start step 6, which is the last one that is created. Okay, that's created. So what do you need to do? So guys, so let me check. Let me try to save the configuration first. Let me just try to save the configuration first. Okay, they are saved. Okay, they are saved successfully. Then I'll come to my laptop here. I'll come to PC wireless here. So we come to profiles, then just a minute. Configure the wireless host. Create a new wireless profile. Create new. They use that one. WorkNet. Click OK. And then configure the profile for the SSD. You come under advanced here. Need to connect, select, so we need to so the wireless should name as wireless network name should be user 1. Next, obtain network setting, that's okay. Then security should be, it was WPA, that one. Login name, just a minute, should be user 1. Password should be user 1 pass. Just a minute. Wireless network name, it was just a minute. The wireless network name was SSID 10. Sorry, it should be SSID 10. SSID -10. Okay, then next, everything is okay. The login name should be, let me scroll down, user 1 and user 1 pass, user 1, then yes, should be user 1 pass, then next, and save. Connect to network. So we're waiting for it to connect to the network so that we can check the connection. We've been told that when you finish, click connect. It will take time to connect to the establishment. So guys, I think we are done with the configuration. So as we wait, I'll just try to submit the task, check if everything is okay. Unfortunately, we have gotten only 76, but this is a trial on the first attempt. You know, there was a lot of configuration that really took a lot of time, I mean. So this is a good trial. So stop working. Oh, this could be one of the reasons why it stopped. So as you can see, we only got 76, but that's a good trial. So guys, bye and see you again in the next